and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings. Welcome one and all on a beautiful Monday here in sunny San Diego. Two balls at a mic. So two. Those times three. We're going to go ahead and get things started today with a wonderful guest returning to the podcast here to San Diego Futbol. Great World Cup winning, Olympic gold medal winning, legend of the game, Shannon McMillan. We're going to go ahead and get her take on everything community-wise that's been happening with San Diego Wave. Maybe ask a couple of questions about the game against Bay FC, and then we're going to go ahead and break down everything that happened at Snapdragon on Saturday. 2-1, San Diego Wave beating Bay FC. It was a fantastic match. It was a great crowd.
They're letting us know cameras off. They're letting us know in the comments that cameras off. No camera.
No camera. All right. We can go ahead and get that going here as long as there's audio. Boom, look at that. There's one of you and there's one of me. Let us know if that's available for everybody to see.
I think it's back up now.
Excelente. We have backups. We're also going to go ahead and talk about the breaking news and / confirmation. San Diego FC, Irving El Chucky Lozano coming to San Diego FC. We're going to confirm a couple of sources that we have in the back pocket in terms of that in San Diego FC's also May 4th, Chula Vista Chrome Ball Tour, as well as Juan Mata and Tab Ramos and their takes on the Right to Dream SDFC project here in San Diego, some exclusive interviews, and of course, everybody's favorite segment, goals, gaps, and greats, El Juego Bonito. Let us know if that took our camera off, but we're not going to go ahead and have our guest of honor waiting too long. We're going to go ahead and welcome to the San Diego Futbol Studios, the great and powerful, one of my favorite people that I've met and interacted with through this entire adventure for the past 4 years, the great Shannon McMillan. Shannon, how are you?
I'm well. Nice to see you, gentlemen. Thanks for having me back.
No, absolutely. This is su casa. This is your home. I'm very thankful to be able to have you as somebody that we can rely on to go ahead and speak on such important matters. And just at the end of the day, you're a World Cup winner, and we just get to chat with you. Like, that's just so cool.
Sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and get things started here, really quickly with obviously yesterday, a sunny day, a beautiful day down here in the South Bay, a partnership that flourished and, had been getting worked on behind the scenes. The Borderview YMCA had a soccer arena that was pretty run down for the most part. We work with the South Bay YMCA, so that's kind of literally what pays for all these lights and cameras that apparently don't work. But they're fine. But, it was a project that was Herculean. It's never going to happen. This and this and this. PNC Bank and San Diego Wave came together. Could you give us a little background as far as like how that ended up happening, who picked up the baton, and ultimately what a great event?
Yeah, and thank you both for being there. It was a very exciting day yesterday, and I think Alan spoke to it from PNC Bank. That was well over a year in the making, and it's a rundown court that has literally been closed, like lock and key, for 4 years. And it took about a year to get this all back together. And, YMCA is also one of our big community partners, and growing access to the game and allowing kids to have opportunity to, play this beautiful game and learn life lessons and have access and ability to stay healthy. And so it's just an incredible trifecta to bring, PNC Bank, one of our partners, together with YMCA and launch this beautiful field that, it's first class. It's top of the line turf. It's wrapped. It's got a professional feel. We had a clinic out there with McCaskill and Caruso out there running drills with the kids, and to see all those happy faces, and to know that the middle school right there has access to it as well, and that the kids in that area now have a safe place to play and be healthy is just what it's all about. We want to, empower the community and give back and grow access to this crazy game.
And, we were touching a little bit. I mean, it's so great for San Diego Wave to have partnered with Borderview YMCA. Borderview is literally the branch closest to the border, hence the name Borderview. And
See the border.
I mean, how important is it for San Diego Wave, do you feel, to just have something in the South Bay area, in the San Isidro area, just south of the 8 in general?
Yeah, great point. We want to make sure we're reaching areas that, have limited access, and the areas that are in need. And, that's the focus with all of our community partners, and working together with YMCA and PNC Bank. That's where we were able to, identify Borderview, and that it was in such bad shape that it literally was locked, and it wasn't even the kids out there on an unsafe field. So to be able to bring that to life, it's kudos to our partnership team, kudos to PNC and the YMCA. And what's exciting is the programming that they're going to be able to bring to that field day in and day out.
Look, I will take some of the blame for the condition of that field. That was the last meaningful championship I had in my playing career, was on that field a couple of years ago.
It's your fault.
And no, I mean, partially. Yeah, no, those goalkeeping areas were not nice. But no, it's a beautiful, beautiful arena. Just the renovation is incredible. The wrapping of the actual walls is something unique.
As YMCA staff, I'm just going to go out and say that Borderview now has the nicest indoor facility
in San Diego County, 100%.
San Diego County, in all of YMCA San Diego.
Yeah, now it's going to be a challenge to all the others to get up to that par. And, and I'm a big believer, and if you can see it, you can be it. So how cool for those young kids to go out there and have a field like that that's now theirs, that's safe, and they can have that professional feel. And, who knows, maybe there's a future San Diego Wave player out there running around kicking that ball and dreaming big of, playing at Snapdragon alongside the rest of the team one day.
And that's something that we mentioned to Sav McCaskill and Caruso, and just kind of like having these spaces available to really hone your skills, and not even hone your skills at a time. Like, I think, it was one of the first things that I spoke with Alex Morgan about when she signed at the crest reveal. I'm like, hey, what message do you have to kids who want to grow up? And it's like, it's not the end all be all. Like, soccer is just fun. Like, sometimes you just want to go out there and have fun, and have a good time, exercise, and your life goes this way. But that is the dual effect of something like this here in San Diego. So my one thing is that if you have people here, just sign up for the Y. This is the only time I'll ever say that. Don't hop the fence, because you're gonna get caught, and it's not gonna be nice. You don't need that. Like, it's really something that needs to be taken care of, and I think the community really needs it, as you highlighted. But I'm really excited to just have that partnership. And I mean, look, like, the aura of San Diego Wave is just has a heft, and people really take that into consideration. We introduced our boss's boss to Shannon McMillan, and we actually told her earlier, like, hey, it's your birthday, like, we're gonna introduce you.
No, she was a little too shy.
Like, we're gonna make it happen, and look at that, making dreams come true, one at a time. You are a superstar, Shannon. But the field that you're a superstar in right now is obviously the community relations aspect when it comes to San Diego Wave. Another highlight that happened and was dropped was the partnership once again with Humble Design, as you guys surprised a local family. Could you tell us, remind us of that partnership? Because we know you had that with San Diego Loyal, but now transitioning into San Diego Wave.
Yeah, and the last home we did, we had the honor of Trigger being there, and she's the founder and CEO of Humble Design, and they are just, I mean, you talk about salt of the earth human beings, and their basic platform is, that when people are transitioning out of being unhoused, when they have the ability in the sense to have a place called home, not just a roof over their head, but all the, from the kitchen to the bedrooms to the bathrooms, all the little things that make a place a home, it helps these kids now have the ability to have bigger dreams. It helps these families to feel safe. And Humble Design go in, they have designers that meet with the families, and everything's customized to their likes. And with the San Diego Wave, what we do is we volunteer, we donate money, we volunteer, and the family leaves for the day. And it's like a TV show. You basically put everything in their house and make beds and build furniture. Each kid then has a sign with their name over their bed so they know that it's their space. And you spend pretty much all day from about 9 a.m. until 2, 3, or 4, moving furniture and everything into the home. And then at the end of the day, you get to welcome the family home. And if you're not crying, it's just, you got to check your pulse, because it is one of the most powerful experiences. And to know that these kids now have a safe place, these families have the support and love behind them, it's phenomenal. And we actually had the family along with Humble Design out to our last game, played a video at halftime, and just to try to bring more awareness to Humble Design, because they are a 501c3. So they operate off of donations, whether it's financial or furniture. If you're replacing your dining room table, call Humble Design. They will arrange to come pick it up and make sure it goes to a family that's trying to get back on their feet and repurpose it. And they're just an incredible organization, amazing human beings. And it's one of the top favorite volunteer opportunities that we have. And so many people just walk away touched and changed forever after doing a day of service. It's now a day of joy with Humble Design.
That is absolutely phenomenal. You can see the smiles just across the field. Like, that's something that any professional sport or anybody who has a platform to be able to help in that area is put on this earth for a reason. I think that's one of those aspects that's just beautiful to see just in the community. You've been in the professional setting in sports, for a while, and at the end of the day, not all teams do that. That connection isn't always there. Why is it so important to marry those things together, the community and the sporting aspect? Some may say, like, well, it's just a photo op, or it's just something like this. Like, clearly it's not, because there's a soul to it, and you can definitely feel that. But why is that so important, and why is it important for other teams to also follow the steps here?
That's probably one of the best questions I maybe have ever been asked. And I think, when you're a professional sports team, it's important that you engage and truly connect with your community, because whether it's wins or losses, if you are out and you're making the connections and you're giving back to the community and helping raise people up, they feel a part of that organization. And then results don't necessarily matter. They want to support you. They want to be there because they're out volunteering next to some of the players, or they're out volunteering with our staff, or they're out volunteering with fellow volunteers that just love the game and love the team and want to do well for their community. So for San Diego Wave, it's so important that we make those connections and that we show San Diego, this is your team. We want you to be a part of it. This is what we're going to do to help you be a part of it. Is we want to engage and commit to giving back to the community, growing access to the game, making life a little bit easier for whomever we can, and supporting local 501c3s that day in and day out do work that sometimes goes unnoticed. But how can we celebrate them and bring attention to them so they can continue to do that? And I just, just when you can make that connection within your community, I think you just get that natural bond and that natural sense of belonging. And that gets people that want to be out there supporting you beyond what happens result wise on the game.
And for you personally, where does this rank just in your soccer career? Because I'm including this in your soccer career. Where does this rank? Obviously, like winning World Cups, winning gold medals, but just like as a whole, looking back, to be able to be a huge part of the community and invest in individuals like this, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's powerful, and it's right up there. All those awards, I've been very blessed with what this game has afforded me. I grew up in Escondido, and if not for soccer, I might not have had the opportunity to go to a 4-year college like the University of Portland. And the fact that from there I was able to go and travel the world, and I am who I am as a person, a mom, and everything because of this game. It taught me to have confidence. It taught me to believe in myself and how to be a leader and how to, overcome adversity and how to be a part of a team. So it's so important now that I've lost my speed and my touch and the power behind the ball to be able to still be a part of this game and hopefully help inspire the next generation and give back to my community. Because whether it's a little girl or boy that are going to be out at the Border View YMCA, or someone that's going to come through our development team, or someone that's rostered on the team right now, there are so many life lessons that will set you up to succeed well beyond the field. That is the true value and special aspect of this game. So to be able to maybe have a small role in that is powerful, because this game afforded me so much.
I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we want to talk a little bit about just the last game that we saw and just take your 2 cents on what you saw from Wave against Bay FC.
Oh, it was awesome.
The games anymore? I mean, because look, I'm sorry to interrupt, Shannon, but
you're good.
San Diego loyal, you saw Shannon up and down, and you just see her do a bit of everything. Is that the
celebrating
case?
A couple times too?
Yeah, 100%. Is that the same case with Wave? Do you get to watch the games? Do you watch them back, highlights?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't get to watch as much as I would like, but it's probably a good thing because I'd probably be a little too stressed out. But, what I did get to see from Saturday night was just a phenomenal crowd. The energy and the way that the Wave came out and attacked Bay FC, they've got some incredibly high-profile players. They're a, first-year team in the league. They're just out to prove everything. So to go out against a team like that, and the way the defense played and battled the entire time, and both goals were something special. So to see, and there was Coach Stoney made a lot of changes to the lineup. And I think people looking at that on paper were like, maybe what's going on? But, when you see players that get their opportunity and they embrace it, this week of training is going to be some tough decisions now for Coach, and that's what it's all about. I absolutely got goosebumps when Maria Sanchez got subbed in, and it was almost deafening, the response of the crowd. And then to see her, last few seconds of added time, and she's sliding to keep a ball from going out for a corner to make it a throw in the last 10 seconds, like that heart and soul that she's going to add to what's already here is just exciting for me. I think it was a statement win. And one that's really going to help this team as they continue to gel and create their identity for this year and to go win some more hardware.
That's the goal. That's definitely the goal. And I think San Diego Wave is poised to do that and get some health and get some chemistry in, and they're going to be absolutely unstoppable. I love that you mentioned that last slide tackle, because in the press box, we were talking about
she won the game.
She won the game, literally right there.
The game ended right there.
Yeah, because the ref would have probably let the corner kick go.
Exactly.
Would have kept going. He would have not blown the whistle, and that he knows what happens when you throw everyone in the box and just pump the ball in. And that just her, the tactical mindset of her of sliding to try and get that out for a throw in. That, like you said, that ref's like, all right, game over, let's go.
I love that.
100%.
It was fantastic. And again, this is a space where we're very grateful to have you, Shannon, to be able to come in and talk to the people here. The chat and everybody who's joining in is obviously showing Shannon some love as you deserve it.
I see all the comments, and I see you guys. Thank you for all the love. It is appreciated.
I love it. And so I really hope that there's more opportunities here in the community coming up where the community can also get involved. I know the Sirens are very much involved in all the volunteering. And then just civilians just be able to come in to help out in any way they can. We'll be looking out, and anything that comes up, Shannon, let us know, and we'll definitely help amplify that.
Yeah, and our goal for the community team, myself, Kyle, and Elise, is we want to get a minimum of 1,000 volunteer hours this calendar year. We're well on track with 400 already. So if anyone wants to come out, earn a Wave volunteer shirt and roll up their sleeves with us, email us at community@wavefc.com, because we want to connect with you guys and enjoy, giving back to the community and having you guys all be a part of it. So come join us.
So I love that. So you can go ahead and contact. Is that you answering these? Yeah, you might have a You might have
Those
to-
actually get filtered out through Kyla because she oversees the coordinating of that part. But I do see it as well. But you'll get a response from Kyla.
I
Who
love
is
that. Kyla's-
phenomenal. I've got I mean, I can't speak enough about my little community team and Elise and Kyla. It's we're three, and I think just the impact and what we're able to do thanks to Jill and empowering us to just go make a difference in the community is something special.
No, it's a really special unit that they have there. So again, community at wavefc.com. Get involved. Keep your eyes out on social media. Everything's going to be available. Shannon, thank you once again. Your time is invaluable, and the fact that you share it with two people here is incredible. But again, I want to thank you for your time, and we'll hope to have you here soon.
Always a pleasure, you guys. You know how to get a hold of me. And a big shout out to the Sirens, too, because they've been showing up this year. And the energy coming from them, that does help. When you're on the field, you feel that love and that support. And I'm telling you, they've stepped up the game this year. So it's much appreciated and heard. And pleasure to be here with everyone. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
you,
so much,
Shannon.
Shannon.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Shannon McMillan, World Cup winner, Gold Cup
What a
winner.
human being.
Just an absolute salt of the earth person. Like, my teacher used to tell me in high school, like, the last thing she always said in AP history, and it's my favorite class actually, was be good people. And I think that's the standard of good people, is people who just go out and do things in their community and really do things for the heart and love of everything. And Shannon clearly loves San Diego, loves everybody in the chat. So shout out to everybody who's saying hi to Shannon. Stick around because we do have the breakdown of the actual game coming up, because this is a jam-packed episode today.
It is.
Episode 222. We're going to go ahead and have some breaking news SDFC wise. We're going to go ahead and discuss everything that has to do with that. Some questions about season tickets and just regular tickets and how that's going to work out. I know a couple people who have been putting their deposits, who are waiting, sitting on their hands, just taking, money's burning a hole in their pocket. Want to get more information. So we're going to go ahead and get into that in the San Diego FC SDFC section a little later on. So season's greetings to everybody who's here in the chat. Stick around. Yes, El Chucky, says Tanya. Shout out to Tanya, part of integral member of the San Diego Wave supporter group, the Sirens. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the call of the Sirens next week to really just talk about. I'm really curious to talk about just Kaylin Sheridan, and that's somebody who I'm gonna be reaching out to. Wave 2. There's two people, and one is already relatively confirmed. We'll be having Maria Sanchez coming up in the next couple of weeks, but also, Kaylin Sheridan is somebody that's, we talk to a lot within the tunnels or after the match and passing like this.
She knows who you are.
Yeah. She's seen the highlights. She was like, "Oh, you're the guy that stopped Shannon McMillan." I'm glad she's gone. All right. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get down to it. San Diego Wave did play here in San Diego, and then look, let me just address this, because somebody asked me a couple days ago, like, "Oh, like, why SDFC is the bigger team?" First of all, SDFC doesn't have a team. Second off, this is the active team that's playing right now at Snapdragon in that same venue, in the same seats. Just, that's the order of operations here. So will that change? We'll see. Will it expand into a different section? We'll see what that is. But for right now,
to talk soccer first.
Soccer is
Rumors next.
the primordial thing that we're going to go ahead and talk here. You got to get Sheridan in the garage. Maybe.
Well, that'd be
it's
great.
a little cleaner. It is a little cleaner. Yeah, actually. Yeah. So
I feel like she would look at it and be like, "Yeah, guys, like, this is sick. Like, this is what it's about."
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I hope. Or just like she comes in and she's just like, no, no.
She calls the team. It's like, "What did you guys
Where did you guys send me?" Like a former guest of the show who almost went to Mexico because it's like one exit away from my house.
Little AC.
Yeah. All right. So San Diego Wave. With that, we're gonna go ahead and welcome our pal, writer,
our very
contributor. Compared to Shannon McMillan, like, I'm sorry to bury you, but like, non-World Cup winner, World Cup winner in our hearts sometimes. We're going to welcome Abe Cepeda. Abe, welcome on in. How are you? Why don't you unmute yourself, sir? She was just
Sorry about that. Okay. But thank you for having me. Yeah, that's a hard guest to follow. I am surprised you almost sent Andrew Carlton to Mexico. That's crazy. I can't believe you did that, Tony.
Yeah, no, I did not send him anywhere. The driver
He would have been able to
know.
U-turn.
He would be able to look at the border patrol guy in the face and be like, U.S.
Hi.
citizen, and be like, howdy,
Yeah.
howdy.
He could show him some pictures
Not
for where he
wearing any
was on
like-
January 6th.
Where are you going?
all right,
Washington,
all
D.C.
right. San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave. Let's.
Wave.
Okay, San
This is not
Diego
how you
Wave.
That's not how you follow Shannon McMillan.
You brought it up. Chiva brought it up.
Chivo.
No, you brought it
One
up,
of us
Joey.
brought it up.
One of us.
Anyway, Abe, you have a new article up on San Diego Futbol. Wave offense returns in 2-1 victory over Bay FC. Go ahead and check that out. Fantastic write-up from Abraham Cepeda here. But we have you here in the digital flesh. So let's talk about it. San Diego Wave coming back home. It's been a while. It felt like it was a while. And now they're returning home. It looked like it was not going to be the San Diego Wave of last season or season before, just because of the performance that they had away at Orlando. That was just absolutely flat. There was no energy. There's no passion. There's no vision. That guy actually just died. Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, the guy that did that video, he's done. But no, any case, they're back here. The first thing coming back into Snapdragon that everybody, was shocked by and kind of had some head scratch. It was a head scratcher here and there. Even Shannon actually mentioned it right now, was the lineup. The lineup for San Diego Wave was different than anybody expected.
It was very different. I think it was kind of thrown out like the night before that Abby Dalkemper kind of picked up an injury, so she wasn't going to be available. And she mentioned that in the post game, like, Kennedy found out the night before that she was going to be playing in this game. So you had Kaylin Sheridan goal safe there. Hannah Lundsvik, did I say that right? No,
You're getting better.
getting better. I think you can kind of say like she's getting that starting right back position now. She'll get to rotate it with Westphal for sure, but it was the first time that the Stanford alumni pair up at the center back position in the starting lineup. Naomi Girma with the captain armband. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then Kristen McNabb at the left back position. Colaprico kind of solidified herself as a center mid. Abe, I think you're very happy about that. You've been kind of shouting her out and saying like, dude, she's key in that midfield. So I think she solidified herself in that starting lineup, right, Abe?
Yeah, I think so too. And even comparing all the international players that you're playing, I think Casey Stoney really has to think about that as the season goes on with the Olympics coming up. She knows she has to protect the minutes of players like Emily Van Egmond. So Danny Colaprico is going to have a lot of minutes.
Yeah, and I think to then the biggest surprise in the lineup was 16-year-old Kimi Ascanio making her official debut as a starter in the NWSL. I think that was a big shock and surprise to everyone that saw the starting lineup. Then you also had the debut of Maya Jones, just NWSL player that came in from the draft. I think I was very excited to see her play. From what we've been hearing from people that go to training and stuff, and sources saying, hey, like, she's looking great. She put Naomi Girma on skates at training. She's fast, and you can tell that she was fast once the game started. Savannah McCaskill, just solid 10. One of the best players so far in this season for San Diego Wave. Mackenzie Doniak. Abe, you and I have been preaching that on the wing, she is dangerous. On the wing, she's a whole nother level than at the center mid position. So I don't know, guys, what did you guys think of her performances overall? Obviously, she got that banger of a goal, but on the wing, she is by far way better, right?
Yeah, Mackenzie Doniak is a forward. That's plain and simple. I think she can play anywhere, sure, but that midfield position, maybe Casey Stoney was a little scared to start Escanio that early in the season, but I think there's no reason Doniak should be playing back anymore. She was really good to start this game.
Yeah, no, this right here, just the link up between the players, is something that is not typical of just San Diego Wave sometimes, where this play right here, you see how Doniak almost loses control of this ball, loses sight of the ball. The pass is behind her. She's on sides at all times. She has to readjust her body to the completely other side, do a 360 spin, but still be able to take on the defender and a half, two defenders right there, cross it over to her right foot, and then just a laser of a shot. Just a fantastic goal.
Just her finishing and the thanks for cutting me there, but just the finishing, the way to cut in and just create that space to get that shot. I mean, the shot itself is art, right? That alone is contender for goal of the week for San Diego Punto Futbol, but just Doniak on the wing, the form that she's been playing, like she has been phenomenal. And then you also had Carusa at the striker position. I think it's the first time she starts this season, if I'm not mistaken. Big shout out to Kimi Ascanio getting her first NWSL assist. I don't think they made it a bigger deal than what it really is. A 16-year-old getting an NWSL assist. They made it a big deal last season when Barcenas got it.
Well, to be honest, she's not the youngest anymore, so she's not breaking any records. Sorry about that. Like, it's crazy. It's 16-year-old. You think like, oh, she's got to be the youngest ever, but Barcenas kind of already took a lot of those, and so did Jaden Shaw, and so did Olivia Moultrie. So there's not a lot of youngest records to break anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still impressive, and for the 16-year-old to be doing this for Wave, it's just what it does. It gives Casey Stoney a lot of options now. You can tell by the end of the first half, she was a little tired. And again, she's 16 years old. I think she can give you a full-on 45-minute shift for sure. And I think just having other players come in is very crucial. I mean, Van Egmond came in at the second half for her. And there were other subs that happened that just eventually kind of like led to that second goal. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Just the first 15 minutes, complete dominance for San Diego Wave. It really caught off guard at Bay FC. I don't think they were expecting that. They were expecting to see Jaden Shaw on the field. They were expecting to see maybe Elise Bennett on the starting position, on the starting lineup, considering the injuries that Wave had. So overall, I think it was a very gutsy move by Casey Stoney. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's very, 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 very common when coaches, their teams are not performing, yet they keep the same starting 11 over and over and over, and they don't make any changes. This wasn't the case for Casey Stoney. She said, we're back-to-back games where the performances are not where I need them to be. I'm changing everything, and that's exactly what happened.
I don't know how much that would happen if not for the injuries, though. Casey Stoney does like to run the same players out, but like Jakobsen and Alex Morgan are such big injuries, and they're starters every game, so it kind of forced Casey's hand there.
And that's going to be the argument when Morgan is healthy, or just people who look at this game, who look at the star power, quote unquote, of Alex Morgan and just say, wow, if Wave can do this with this lineup, just imagine what they can do when Alex comes back and in health. It doesn't work like that because this team played completely different. You didn't have that one player that the entire team was looking for, that focal point. Yeah. Alex Morgan, everything goes through Alex Morgan. No, everybody was distributing. Everybody was playing to their strengths. They had that passion. They wanted something to prove. They had something to prove given the opportunity. And then against a formidable team like Bay FC, let me tell you, that was some of the most physical and fun offense that I've seen against San Diego Wave in a, two por two type of situation where they have incredible talent. Scarlett started, didn't really do a lot, but el talento up front is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, Casey's former teammate Chula was just all around the pitch. That was so fun to watch. Bay FC is, despite their uniforms, they're a nice team to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope I'm pronouncing this Kundananji. Am I pronouncing that right? Forgive me if I'm not, but often enough during the game, she was really just kicking the ball forward and just outrunning everyone. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a big issue for the backline for San Diego Wave. But at the end of the day, they managed to survive. And I think somehow Kennedy Wesley had one of the best games that she could have put out. Yes, there were mistakes, but the mistakes were able to get solved. And it's when you're able to avoid the goals in those mistakes that you have to win these games. Kimi Ascanio had a big error in the midfield where it almost cost a goal for Bay FC, and that would have been crucial. And again, like Casey Stoney said it, right? Like she had moments where wow, she's phenomenal. But then she had moments where you see, okay, yeah, she's 16 years old. Like she's going to be making these mistakes. And I think overall, just probably the most fun game that Wave had this season, the most fun game that we've watched and witnessed. And I hope they run it back. I hope the lineup changes just a little bit, but kind of keeps the same momentum. I think they started very attacking, very high press. And I mean, Savannah McCaskill, just bulldozer of a player, just running and sprinting after everything. What do you guys think about McCaskill this game?
Yeah,
Abe?
McCaskill's been great every game, and she looked her calmest this game. Like a lot of the other games, she looks kind of frustrated, might get mad at some other players, trying to make passes happen. But this game, it felt like passes were actually happening, and it was just calm team ball. I think Tanya said it well. Team ball. That looked like team ball there.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I agree, right? I think, like Tony mentioned, Alex Morgan wasn't there. And when she's there, everyone's trying to get her the ball, or everything has to go through Alex Morgan. And I think that was a very key factor for San Diego Wave performing this way, where you don't have Alex Morgan. Okay, how are we going to play? What else do we have to do? And I hope this is a wake up call for the team and Casey Stoney saying, when we have Alex Morgan on the field, maybe not everything needs to go through her. She doesn't always need to see the ball. Granted, this lineup with Alex Morgan up on top would be even more attacking. I think Kyra Cruz has struggled a lot with her first touch. I think she had a lot of passes where she seemed a little rusty for sure, not getting the minutes that she probably deserves. But again, it's a competition. And if you're not performing, you're not going to get in the field. So mishaps like that where you get the first touch and you can't get the control right and it bounces off and the other team gets it, that's just not going to be beneficial. I think it wasn't the best look for Carusa for sure. But I think Jaden Shaw coming in the second half in that position just completely changed the dynamic of the game as well. We know Jaden Shaw has the vision. We know she has the touch. We know she has the shot. And I think she just really, really, really rocked well that 9 position.
And look,
she wanted to score.
I see the comment from Jeremy. I see it. I thought so immediately as it went in, but then I raised you that second goal. That second goal, and Shannon even mentioned, like, it was, we were talking about it before the camera went on, is it's some of the best San Diego Wave play we've seen in their history. That was a smooth, great play through and through. At the end, with having ¿cómo se llama? Elise Bennett with a picture perfect pass right between the legs to Jaden Shaw, perfectly weighted. It was honestly just remarkable, and I'm just really happy that at the end of the day, like just take a look at this. Sorry, just look at that. Just you have McCaskill right there already looking at it. The play had already been constructed before, and as it kind of develops right there, Elise Bennett, a first touch, perfectly weighted. Jaden Shaw just doing what Jaden Shaw does and just continuing that tear, and a phenomenal goal.
I think I have a better angle of that goal, Tony. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah?
share it right now.
Watch the volume, because that's what I did.
It started with Germa. Germa gave it to Shaw. Shaw gave it to Van Egmond, and then Van Egmond sent it back to Shaw, then to McCaskill, then
can
to
watch that
Bennett,
all day.
then to
Here we
Shaw.
go.
It
I'm
was
gonna share it over
crazy.
here.
Here it is.
Yeah, so this is the bird's eye view. As you mentioned, Van Egmond to Shaw, McCaskill over to Bennett, first touch through the legs, Shaw, goal. Like,
That's crazy.
Let's watch it one more time, guys.
yeah, it's from the beginning, right? And you know, look at the off the ball movement. Immediately knows exactly where she's going. She needs to take a 1 or 2 touches and keep running in that same direction. Elise Bennett just, and Casey mentioned it at the end, just that's what she was gonna. That's the only thing she needed to do: get behind the defender and do exactly that. Just a phenomenal team goal. So, well, yeah, I agree. Like, there was, it's not a goal of the week contender. It's rigged. I don't know, man.
I
Like,
race you this team play, man.
I don't know, man. Like, it was a golazo.
You know that famous Arsenal goal where it's like the 1-2, boom, boom, pase,
Like,
tiro, golazo. That it gave me vibes like that. It gave me those tuya, mía, caricia tengo. Perro Bermudez narrating that
Yeah.
would have been amazing. And I think it was just such a phenomenal team play goal for sure that overall just it really gave the win that San Diego Wave deserved this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And now I think the question is, how do you start your attackers in the future? I mean, you have Maria Sanchez now, and she takes Maya Jones's spot, I'm guessing. But how do you keep Doniak off of this team? I mean, maybe Jakobsen finds the bench, but that's some hard decisions for Casey Stoney.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely going to be interesting. Is I think Alex Morgan's kind of week to week, right? To see if she's going to be back. I don't think she starts the next game as well. I think Casey Stoney really liked how Jaden Shaw came in, and she talked about protecting Jaden Shaw for sure. Doesn't want her to also pick up an injury, which is also why the rotations happened. But I think the next game, Jaden Shaw starts as a 9. Maria Sanchez gets that right wing spot. Doniak, I think she solidified herself right now for the moment. I think on the left wing spot, that's her bread and butter, and I think that's where she's probably going to end up staying right now. And now it's the question, okay, Kimi Ascanio had a great first half, and she's very attacking as well. If you have an Ekman and Colaprico, that's 2 very defensive mids. Does that really work out? Does that really translate on what you want to do? Kimi Ascanio is kind of one of the only midfielders you have right now that kind of can give you that up and down for 45 straight minutes. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's a great problem for Casey Stoney to have all these different players performing the way she wants it. And again, it's just one game. They could easily go next week and go back to the form that they were in an away match. So hopefully just it's not a one game and then going back to the form they were in. Hopefully they kind of build off this momentum. But I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they line up in the future.
Yeah. Seattle is their away match, and they have never done well in Seattle. So that's going to be interesting to see because we know how they play in Seattle. They just won one time this season, and it was kind of lucky in stoppage time with the goal by Emily Van Egmond. So we don't know what's in store there, but this is a step in the right direction.
I mean, we can hear some words from McCaskill and Wesley. I think this was Tony's question in the press conference.
Sides, what can you just take us into those moments of being able to really push through those moments throughout the match that really gave Wave that test?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to each individual's level of grit, and I think we all had a really high level of it tonight. We came out with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder since the last few games haven't gone necessarily as we wanted, and everyone was the best version of themselves tonight, and I think that's how we were able to battle through when we needed to and ultimately get the result.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like it was a great game. And I mean, Tony, you keep saying it, right? Like the performance, the physicality of the game is just, it gets competitive in the NWSL now. It's really probably one of the most competitive leagues in the world.
It was not a well refereed match. I'll say that. And there's been times where, and I say that because
I think Abe disagrees.
You disagree, Abe? You cocked your head.
Well, what do you think was not well refereed?
There were a couple of instances where there was, okay, to begin the game, there was a yellow card for a common foul.
Oh, against Colaprico?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that set the tone. Like, I can definitely see why that can be taken into consideration as a yellow card, but to do that at that moment is not really understanding just kind of the flow of this, and it was just a referee wanting to just take control and say like, oh, I'm going to assert myself, and okay, fine, I get it. Flash forward a couple of minutes. There was 3, 4, 5 plays where a similar foul, if not a stronger foul that was about to lead to a build-up play for San Diego Wave happened that didn't get a yellow card or didn't even get a call. So that's kind of the things that I'm talking about specifically.
I think I agree with you. I think there were very soft calls that were made on the field and some yellow cards, but I don't think it disrupted the flow of the game.
Well,
I don't think it like played a role in the
See,
results.
You're interrupting me and not listening to me because I haven't finished.
Okay, go ahead, finish.
Usually, I've seen San Diego Wave get those non-calls, and that discombobulates them. That puts a stop to the momentum. They start arguing. They start looking around. Casey kind of starts, are barking at the fourth official, and then there's a little bit of a breakdown. And that's what I mean with this game. There was a physicality to it, but they stayed focused, they stayed poised, they stayed neutral the entire time. It didn't matter if it was Bay FC, if it was Gotham, if it was Seattle, if it was whoever was in front of them, they were going to win this game 3 points, and that's it. That was the only thing in their going through their mind. What's the second clip that you have for the
This one's Kennedy Wesley just talking about starting with Naomi Girma.
Okay.
So I mean the Stanford alumni.
Go for it.
It was the first start that you both have together. So how did you feel playing alongside her?
It was great. It's kind of reminds me of old times. We used to play with each other in college, and I think we're like best friends as people, and it translates onto the field. She has my back, and I have hers, so I think our chemistry was pretty good.
Any other questions?
Any more questions? A great overall team performance, and again, kind of goes back to that point of like, at the end of the day, it takes 11 to move forward with that. There were some moments, specifically with Kaylin Sheridan, who didn't have the best performance with her feet and kind of got lucky here and there.
That's a lot. It happens a lot. She takes a long time.
No, she does, but now like it literally like almost costs the team in a way that it doesn't usually cost a team. There was a goal kick that was shanked. I'm not helping our case for her to be in the studio. But at the end of the day, like, it's fine because the team came forward, they came through, and they got lucky here and there. But this game was always going to be San Diego Waves' victory.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that Kennedy Wesley, say Abby Dahlkemper is able to come back next week and that her injury is isn't anything too serious, Kennedy Wesley, is she able to overtake on that starting position over Abby Dahlkemper?
She might get more minutes because Naomi and Abby are both national team players, but I don't think she's better than Abby Dahlkemper. Abby Dahlkemper is really good. There's a reason why she was the first signing for Casey Stoney, and there's a reason why she's on the national team. Like, she holds down that center back position. And while I will say that Kennedy Wesley's game was good, but they were targeting that side of the pitch for sure.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Naomi Girma has her side of the pitch so down well that it makes the other center backs look better because they have a lot more to do.
And did you guys feel like Naomi Girma, with that captain armband, did she act more of a leader? Do you guys think it even faced her? Like, did it? Sometimes
It
I feel
didn't
like
weigh on her.
exactly. I feel like the captain armband can sometimes weigh in on players. It just felt natural to her, right?
Yeah, it looked natural. Like, I saw her, like, they were taking the pregame pictures and stuff. She was given the award for the best U.S. player of the year, and she was just still warming up, just looked completely normal. I don't even think she, like, led the go wave thing or whatever. Like, I think it was Kaylin Sheridan, but she just looked completely calm and composed, and that's what you need out of your center back and your captain.
I do want to throw this question up from our very good friend, Cesar H. Futbol, Cesar Hernandez, that asked Casey Stoney. It's not every day that Cesar asks anything in the press conferences, but he did ask Casey Stoney about what he talked to the substitutions, Jaden Shaw and Elise Bennett, because it clearly worked. So this is Casey Stoney's response to that.
Obviously, I have to make it clear tonight it was about protecting Jane a little bit. She's had a lot of games, a lot of attention, a lot of things going on in a short space of time. So it was about protecting her, and it was then about giving her the ability to go on and have an impact. I just said to her, they're pressing on this side. Can you roll? Can you come off? Can you get in between pockets and cause problems? And to Elise, it was getting behind. If Sav gets on the turn, if Jodie gets on the turn, can you get in behind the fullback and use what she's good at, which is she's strong and quick and she's powerful. So, yeah, that's not on me, that's on them going into the game with the mindset to make a difference, and that's why they're called game changers, because they change the game.
And that's it. And that's something that I think Casey herself got better with. And you can tell right here where there's times where she clearly got outcoached in the last couple seasons. And this is her growth as a manager, is really learning the weapons that she has and the moments to do that, because that second goal, at least Bennett, Shaw, literally the game changers that came in. So I think, again, not just on the pitch, off the pitch, overall, a great performance. Maria Sanchez coming on. We talked about it with Shannon McMillan right now. Just that detail at the end, right? It was 2-1. BFC was pressing. The game is about to be over. It's 7 minutes of stoppage time. And, there's a corner kick. They try to clear it. It comes back. There's a chance for another corner kick. It's going out into about to be a corner kick for BFC. Maria Sanchez comes down with her 77 jersey and just puts that extra effort in, slides that ball out for a throw in instead of a corner kick, which typically referees will give a corner kick. They won't end it if there is a corner kick to give.
They would.
So
for sure do.
that right there literally won the game. Like that element right there won it. And I think we haven't seen nearly anything of Maria Sanchez so far. We saw some fancy footwork. We saw her try to turn a couple players, and she did, but there needs to be that chemistry to build off on who's around her. She needs to understand it, down to like what's her teammates' preferred foot. Like those are things that you kind of start learning throughout training. You need that chemistry to be built, and it's things like that that'll eventually just come together. But when it does, it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, and the support that she got when she came on, I was not expecting that. Like when your new player comes on, you kind of expect like, oh, they're going to get a few more claps than normal because it's just like you see online that, oh, they have a new player. But that ovation for her was cool to see.
Yeah, a Morgan-esque level of support, an ovation, really just something that you see reserved for the best of the best.
Yeah, I think I saw it was Jaden Shaw a little bit louder than that one, but it was wonderful.
17,000 plus strong at Snapdragon. Another great turnout. It's impressive what San Diego Wave has been able to continue to build on. At the end of the day, like this is going to be the standard that STFC is going to have to follow, right? Yeah, they're going to sell out their first games. Yeah, they're going to sell out maybe the first season, but it's really building up on that fan base and who's going to be their game in, game out. That's what happens when you have a good team, a team that is going to win. It's a winning team, right? Like they haven't won the NWSL championship just far, but they've won pretty much everything else. They have the pieces, they have the stars, they have everything. So really cool to see that. You got I
got it right here.
Cool.
Tonight, how do we then bottle this to move it on to next week and then a midweek match against an opponent?
I'll go home and have a big glass of wine. I think there's still a lot of areas to improve. So it's bottling the bits around the grit and the really good pieces of play, and then reviewing where we can be even better. We've got a quite short turnaround now in terms of like travelling to Seattle, playing away, and just making sure that we recover the players as best as possible, recognise where we can play and how we can play, and then obviously picking the team that we think is right to go to Seattle and get a result.
Tested effort.
Love that. Just she knows it was a tough week coming back from travel. It was not a good look. Her team did not perform well at all. They worked hard and they really paid dividends. Some sources from out of training let us know that throughout training the whole week, they were looking for Doniak. They were looking for chances to get her that ball, to give her different looks. And so it really just paid dividends. So congratulations to everybody on the San Diego Wave front.
Yeah, you know what? That just reminded me. The first drill that they were practicing on Thursday when I was at training was a very simple passing drill. And it's like something that you see on like training grounds just at your local park of just like everyone four corners, pass to the middle, pass to the person making the run, and then you just pass back to the middle. And now that I think about it, that's exactly kind of how that second goal came to place.
Exactly. It's literally the simple things. Like if you can really just hone on that, perfect the simple passes, the little things, then you can build up on that with the talent that you have on this roster. It pays dividends. Some stats is shots 13-22, San Diego with 13, Bay FC 22. So again, an efficient night out for San Diego Wave. Shots on target 5-2, San Diego Bay. Kaylin Sheridan with 2 saves to the 3. We got some corners, guys. San Diego FC got some corners. They got 4 corners. They did lose
4 more than the last game.
They did lose a possession battle, 49-51. But at the end of the day, that possession doesn't really mean anything. The result is what matters. So, great overall win for San Diego Wave.
So what's next for San Diego Wave, you may ask? Friday, May 3rd, they play Seattle in Seattle. Abe, you were talking about how historically San Diego Wave doesn't do well in Seattle.
Yeah, I don't expect a great game out of them, especially a Friday night game. And yeah, I would predict a 1-1 draw here.
Seattle's not good anymore, Abe. You were just talking about Seattle's not good anymore.
Seattle's all right. I mean, Laura Harvey is a great
5
coach. I think
losses.
she's top 3 coaches in the league still.
But 1 win, 5 losses is not the start to the season that Seattle wants for sure. I think San Diego Wave kind of build off this momentum of this win, and I think they go to Seattle and they win a second time against Seattle this season. I think they pull off the win.
That'd be really cool. That's going to be May 3rd against the Reign at Lumen Field. Just some insight that we've gotten throughout the years from San Diego Wave is that they don't like to travel. Like an aspect that can still be worked on. Everything's kind of coming together with the pay, just the scale in which that the athletes are treated to. Travel is one of those things where it's not necessarily top tier as it should be. And Seattle's one of those places where it's not the best. So the players themselves don't necessarily like traveling over to the Pacific Northwest, but we'll see. I think a tie would be great. And then come back on a Wednesday, face a team that you haven't faced before. They faced Bay FC in the preseason, but they've never faced Utah at all. So that's going to be interesting. Maybe a couple of revenge matches. By the way, this match was the Sierra Engie game, revenge game. She stayed on the bench, but she hasn't everybody came through
this season so far. And I mean, it's kind of surprising to see that she hasn't gotten minutes, right? You fought so hard to get her back, to keep her. So you
again, that was Naomi. She made a call. Naomi Germa made a call. Like, come on.
But yeah, no, I think definitely a tie on the road wouldn't be the worst thing, right? And you know the saying, you tie on the road, you win at home, you should be in pretty good standing for the season. But I don't know. I have a feeling they are going to pull off the win. So we'll see what happens in Seattle on Friday. Gentlemen, is there anything else, San Diego Wave, that we're missing?
I think we're good. All the Seattle talk has me thinking about like Nate Miller talking about all the SD Loyal travel. And this is kind of similar. I mean, if you're Casey Stoney, I can't even imagine what she thinks about traveling around the US compared to traveling around the UK. It's night and day.
And I mean, it's not ideal that it's on a Friday, right? Let it be on a Saturday or anything like that. Then you get an extra day. But that game's Friday, and then they have a midweek game. So we know Casey Stoney and the schedule with the
mortal
NWSL,
enemies.
She'll more than likely get a fine within the next week or so. With the comment on the scheduling, but yeah, then after that, there's back-to-back home games for San Diego Wave. So
perfect. All right, so San Diego Wave, check it out. It's gonna be away. It's gonna be at home. It's gonna be Prime Video this next weekend. So make sure you keep up, and then we'll have everything to do the resume, to do resumen here for next week. San Diego Wave. Huge San Diego Wave section today. Again, it's a team that's playing right now. So shout out to them and everything that they do. Abe,
speaking of teams that are playing, Cholos Femenil played today. They lost, basically kicking them out of the playoffs unless a miracle happens. So shout out to Cholos Femenil on their season. But yeah, it looks like they'll be out of the playoffs this year. I was thinking about going to the game on Friday, but they're kind of completely out of it now. So
yeah, it's going to be sad times. You're just like, hey, where's everybody at?
I mean, better season than the men's side, though. That was
100%. Yeah, anything, literally anybody else other than Puebla had a better season than Cholos, probably. I mean, they didn't finish last, but still, it was
Puebla was just bad. Yeah.
Terrible. Cool. Abe, stick around at Abe_Cepeda on social media. We're going to go ahead and hide you for a bit here, but yeah, we're going to have some good stuff coming up. What you got there? Mexico?
El Chucky Lozano.
El Chucky Lozano. Yeah, no, that's gonna be interesting to talk about here. So, all right, Abe, I'm gonna put you away, sir. Abe forever.
Abe.
Sandiego.futbol. Check it out.
Check out his articles.
The best. The best.
What are you gonna go with? Chucky Lozano talk. Breaking news. SDFC. Let's do it.
My sources confirm. Carlos Aviña is confirmed and just waiting for the season to end for AS Monaco in order to become the sporting director of San Diego FC. With that is going to be their building out, interviewing, and finalizing the first coach for San Diego FC. So that's in the pipeline. It's ready to go. On top of that, my sources did confirm Chucky Lozano is coming to San Diego.
All right. It's confirmed.
Period.
Chucky Lozano, Aviña, both coming to San Diego FC. Now, what does this mean, right? You hear Chucky Lozano coming to MLS, especially to San Diego FC, and there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to cover it out. First thought, I mean, it was first reported by Tom Bogert. So shout out Tom over to Athletic, who first reported it over on Twitter. Supposed to be a transfer fee of $12 million. That's what we know. And I don't know. When you first hear Chucky Lozano to San Diego FC, what comes to your mind, Tony?
That this has been in the works for a while. So San Diego FC have been working on targets, and they're still currently working on different targets for players. And it's not just like, it's not all hands on deck for Chucky Lozano. There's different superstars that they're working on. But Chucky was one of their main targets since the beginning. Since coming into the city, like that was one of their main targets because they wanted to go ahead and have somebody of category to bring into the city and be that focal point, not just necessarily in a marketing sense, but still kind of be able to play and contribute in a meaningful way. Like not everybody can be Messi, right? The fact that Irving Chucky Lozano is coming in now from PSV Eindhoven, having success at Napoli, bringing the first championship to Napoli in the Scudetto for the first time since Maradona days is, impressive. He's been stellar. If you look at his stats just in general, as far as compared to just compared to the last year in players in the similar position, he's in the 90 percentile for a lot of these stats, right? You look at just the XG and just being able to really take a look at how important he is in Europe and how he contributes in Europe. Sure, his PSV stint hasn't been necessarily the best compared to the Napoli one, where he transferred over for, I believe, 45 million euros or 45 million. Let's just put 45 million. But Chucky is one of those players that is not just going to be important on the field, but off the field. And this is going to be clearly, people are going to look over and be like, SDFC, Tom Penn, Carlos Vela 2.0, Irving Lozano for San Diego FC. Like, sure, that can definitely be the case. But Irving Lozano coming in, I think he cements himself as potentially the best non-Messi player in MLS.
Here's my thing. With
You
Chucky
oofed
Lozano.
a little too hard for me.
Here's my thing for Chucky Lozano, right? I think Chucky Lozano definitely is going to make an impact. I think. Am I happy? Am I happy that we're just as media, we're gonna get to see Chucky Lozano? Yeah, that's great. We're gonna get to talk to him. That's awesome. I think for any Mexican fan of the Selección Mexicana, even if you're going to be an SDFC fan, if you're going to be there every single weekend, if you're any sort of fan of La Selección Mexicana, you hate this move. Chucky Lozano turns 29 at the end of July. He's got one, maybe two more good years, unless you're Carlos Vela, aged like fine wine, and he's still competing. And yes, MLS is a very different level than Europe. You're going to play a whole season in MLS right before the World Cup. This is the worst thing that could happen to Chucky Lozano in order to come up for this World Cup. I'm not a fan. When H went to Houston, I was like, okay, he's done with Selección. Like, that's it. You guys know my beliefs, or anything in Europe is better than playing in the MLS or in Liga Mexicana. I think Chucky Lozano still has 2 great years left of his career. I think this is the wrong move for him, and I think it's just more like, okay, let me settle down. I'm going to be playing in San Diego. San Diego has nice weather. It's nice. I'm going to be getting a decent amount of money. I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to have a fan base that loves me. Will he get called up for the World Cup? I don't know anymore. It's up for debate now, because it depends if it's Jaime Lozano, if he's the coach for Mexico for the World Cup. Yeah, he's still probably going to have to call it Chucky, but is he going to be at the level that he would be if he still played another season in PSV? Granted, he hasn't been starting for PSV lately.
Mm-hmm.
He has 6 goals in how many games was it? 6 goals in 21 games. That's not good for a winger, a forward, an attacking player. I don't think that's the best. With Napoli, he had 1 season that was starting and he was solid, maybe 2 seasons. Then Gattuso came in and he didn't get started. He wasn't performing. He wasn't playing good. 23 goals in 120 games. Cool. Is he going to have that impact? I think so. But for Mexico, I think this is just the wrong move. And I think this is just, I'm all for it. Yes, you bring in a star boy Mexican talent to San Diego. It's going to get tickets sold. It's going to get his jersey sold for sure. It's probably going to be the number 1 jersey you're going to sell, more than the FC Northland players, more than Durant Ferry, even though he's from San Diego. It's an interesting move. It's an interesting move, but I think it's definitely the wrong move for him coming to MLS at this point in his career. I think he has 1 good year. If he stays in Europe 1 more year before the World Cup, let's see how you do in the World Cup. Let's see how Mexico does. After that, come to the MLS.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the wrong move for him, but it's the absolute correct move for SDFC.
Oh, 100%.
Like that's a home run, slam dunk, just grand slam move that you can do if you're San Diego FC, is to bring Chucky Lozano.
And if this does happen before Copa America, when Chucky scores a goal in Copa America, that's San Diego FC's Chucky Lozano. It's no longer PSV's Chucky Lozano. El Chucky Lozano. That's SDFC's Chucky Lozano now.
Yeah. And I think that was a strategic kind of move, because the insiders for the MLS, as Tom Bogart was released here a couple weeks before, a couple days before the May 4th Chrome Ball tour stop at Chula Vista.
That's also
interesting. And I think it was on the dock, right? We were talking will the deal get done? Yeah, it's gonna get done. Like, everything is already cemented. The scaffolding's already there. It's just a matter of just signing. So in FIFA, when you buy a player, that's done. But then you have to come into personal terms, sit down with the agent, and just like those types of things are going to get hammered down here. SDFC was not the only, and currently is not the only team. And we've seen this in world football where, yes, it can still turn, it can still change, because the other front runner was going to be LA Galaxy. LA Galaxy was the other front runner for Chucky Lozano's signature, in order to re-energize that whole team in general and have something to go against LAFC. And look, at the end of the day, you don't need world beaters. You don't need world beaters. That's not what you're trying for. Like, yes, right to dream, SDFC, this grand vision. Let's sell players. Let's develop the youth here in San Diego. That's all great if it's going to be done correctly. And, I can't comment on it whether it's going to or not, because we haven't seen it and it's not being rolled out. On paper, it looks great. All these coaches meetings that are happening at SDFC headquarters look fantastic. Talking with some of the people that were in there, it looks like the building blocks of that are happening, and those introductions and connections are being made. Over 60 youth clubs here in San Diego. It's a hotbed. Fantastic. Great. But how is that going to translate into the MLS on-field play? Give it 10 years. Give it 5 to 10 years for the development of these youngsters in order to really see the reflection of San Diego on this team. But for now, you're going to need a team that's going to be competitive. Are they going to be competitive to the point where they're going to win a championship? I still don't think so. I still do not think so. And I shut my mouth up. Prove me wrong. I will be glad to be able to look at a San Diego team and say, wow, they won a championship. I hope that that's what they're trying to do, not just build a fantastic groundwork for an academy basis, a charter school, however they want to put it. That side of the house is going to be taken care of. But a lot of people want a championship. And if you're going to promise a championship in a soccer specific stadium, which it's not, it's going to be good if they're able to get that trophy. But then you look at what other teams are doing. Olivier Giroud is coming to MLS. I'm going to be curious how he adapts, right? He's the
most underrated.
Just look at his highlights. He's the greatest striker of all time. He's the greatest striker. Los golazos que mete. He's going to have a blast scoring all those beautiful goals here in the MLS. But then you have teams like Messi. You have other teams that are MLSified as well. So it's not going to be easy. SDFC is not doing what other MLS teams are doing. SDFC is not your typical MLS team. They're trying to break the mold. They have their own mold. Is that going to work? We don't know.
If the deal were to not go through, I can see maybe some possibilities of having to do with the Mexican Federation getting in the way, saying, hey, Chucky, you know what? If you do go through with this, you're not going to get called up to the World Cup because we need players that are going to be playing in Europe that are at that high caliber. And this is everything that's wrong with Mexico right now. The players are coming back and not enough players are going to Europe. So I think for Chucky Lozano, I think he's realizing this. I think he's at a point in his career saying, you know what? I've played my fair enough share in Europe. I'm ready to just go chill, collect my check, still get called up for Mexico. Because that's what the federation still does. Call up players that are big names and are going to sell seats.
Yeah. The World Cup is in Mexico and the US.
Yeah. So
why not have a superstar here in the US?
It's unfortunate. I think it's a big loss for Mexican soccer. I think it's a big win for San Diego. And it's conflicting, right? Because we're in that, okay, well, we kind of cover both. We kind of like both. So, I mean, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, like soccer in San Diego.
No, 100%. Is this a Carlos Vela replication?
Yeah, you can very much see it. I do think Carlos Vela in his prime, if not, I think he's still a lot better than Chucky Lozano. I think the problem with Carlos Vela is that he didn't give a single shit about soccer.
Yeah.
And like he's just his job, like Mesut Ozil.
Yeah.
I think Chucky Lozano does have that passion for soccer for sure. Is it going to weigh as much as Carlos Vela and make an impact as much as he did for LAFC? I don't know yet. I think Carlos Vela is a better goal scorer than Chucky Lozano is. So I like that's why you hear the Carlos Vela name a lot more, right? Winning it's like top goal scorer of the season, a couple seasons, and that I don't think Chucky Lozano is that type of player. So we'll see what kind of impact he makes. I think he is definitely going to be, like you said, up there in talent with the MLS. And I mean, now I'm just curious to see who else they bring on. Like if your big name is Chucky Lozano, okay, then that's your top. Like you said, I don't think it'll be enough to win you an MLS Cup.
Yeah, and we'll see how the pieces are put together with this Right to Dream Academy. Really quick, we'll be out there on Saturday for the Chrome Ball Tour, May 4th. It's going to be the largest Chrome Ball Tour event. We've been hearing about this since it began. They're shutting down 3rd Avenue. It's going to be Lucha Libre. Lil Rob is going to be there. Thousands are going to be there. Lil Rob, actually from National City. But
I'm so salty about that.
I am, because
you should talk to Lil Rob and be like, hey, dude, what the heck?
Check. Where you
check
from,
the DM.
Where you from? Like, look, like in the video first, sure.
You'd be surprised if it is.
I was surprised if it is, but like when he's cruising down the street with his high-nas, he says he's driving through National City because that's his hood. Where is it? And that's honestly a thing that I left. Like when I first got my driver's license, I used to cruise down the street on Highland because of this music video. Have you heard this song?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it go?
But I'm sure I've heard it.
Right here. Watch.
The ladies sitting by the side, we look crazy.
That right there. The Price Breakers. Look. People get their quinceañera dresses right there. Price Breakers on Highland.
Highland.
Crazy, but I think we look classy. then again, that's only if you ask me. Summer days just
No, you
sitting
say
around,
you
but
say
when the
national
sun
cities, no,
goes
but
down,
I mean he's still South Bay, so
ready to party. Oh, hey.
man, the
Like
Chrome
them
Ball tour
summer
should be
nights.
fun for sure. I mean, there's gonna be a beer garden, there's gonna be a lot of things for the
Lucha
community,
Libre. It's gonna
Lucha
be
Libre,
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
A game between the Chula Vista Fire Department and
Yes.
Chula Vista Police Department.
I will not break the news, but I'll
break it.
Break some news. The 3v3 tournament is happening. Bridge Barcata has a team. I will not say who the members of that team are, but I will tell you it's going to be
Paul,
worth the
Paul,
free.
is he allowed to say it if you're in the chat, Paul?
It's going to be worth the price of admission. Just go watch Bridge Barcata play. It's going to be fun. I don't know what's going to happen. I really hope. I really, really, really hope that they win and hopefully it doesn't cause any scheduling issues for people, but just for the fact that you get to be able to see the 3v3 team that Bridge Barcata has is going to be worth going out to the Chrome Ball Tour. Exclusive stuff is coming out. Shout out to them. We try to reach out for somebody from the club to come on, but they're obviously busy.
They're busy signing Chucky.
Busy. But yeah, that's going to be it for the May 4th. We'll be out there. Check us out. Say hi. We have new stickers. Do you have them in your pockets?
In the car.
They're in the car. Fantastic. New stickers are out. So you see us, say hi, high five, and get a free sticker. But yeah, so again, with this project of SDFC, it cannot be separated from the Right to Dream brand. Right to Dream, the Academy, the majority, the other half of the ownership of SDFC in general. We had some questions because over this last week, in this stupid, crazy adventure that we have, we got to talk to Tab Ramos, a legend, and I will double down on that. Legend, Francisco Velasco. Legend. He's like, because he commented on the post, he's like, oh, legend for Real Betis. Look, that's what the write-up said. All right. That's what they put on the write-up.
Still an MLS legend.
No, but he's like Real Betis. Yeah, and I know he's not.
Yeah.
I know he's not like that. But literally on the write-up, it said that. So I quoted that. In any case, I see you smiling down there. In any case, we spoke to Tab Ramos, Hall of Famer for the MLS, the US for US soccer, just in general. Played at Real Betis over in Spain. And we also got to talk to Juan Mata, which is stupid. Like, it's crazy. What? Okay, sure. We did it for our jobs, but then we also had an exclusive phone call with both of them. And they're going to go ahead and as we play those phone calls, just kind of pay attention to what they think and what they believe about not only Right to Dream specifically, but the academy process and the academy system in general in soccer. So first, we're going to go ahead and play Tab Ramos' interview. So go ahead and enjoy this right here. Yes, here with San Diego Futbol. We're on the phone with Real Betis and MLS Hall of Famer Tab Ramos. Tab Ramos, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, very good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. We were actually yesterday at the YMCA event that you were part of along with Juan Mata in this tour to promote the Real Betis versus Manchester United game at Snapdragon Stadium. What's it been like, with a couple of hours just kind of interacting with some of the people, with some of the community here in San Diego?
It's been truly amazing to be here in San Diego. I'm not from this area, although I've been here quite a few times, and I can see the tradition that San Diego has had over the last few decades with soccer and how it continues to grow and grow.
And you're in a really particular position with having success overseas in La Liga and also being a local product going through the collegiate route here in the United States. What of that experience has been similar or different, or just in your experience beneficial to put you where you have now?
Well, obviously, I think one of the important things is for the kids nowadays to know that the world is open to them. When I was growing up here, it was much more difficult to try to get to Europe or to think that you'd have an opportunity to go back and play in Europe. And I think players are now more often, American players are more often signing with bigger and bigger clubs overseas.
And Tab, hi, Alejandro Villaseñor. Nice to meet you. What do you have to say about San Diego having the facility and the space now to host big matches like this in a summer tour, like with Manchester United and Real Betis?
It's really incredible. You know that this event's going to happen at Snapdragon Stadium. Obviously for Real Betis to come here to the country, sort of a new market for them, and to play such a great club like Manchester United. And for the people here in San Diego to have the opportunity to see both clubs, see two clubs from the two best leagues in the world going at each other, I think it should be a great event.
So again, kind of going back to obviously you being in a very special position, you were the first player ever signed to the Major League Soccer League, and could you just tell me as far as the growth of the league, looking backwards now and in retrospect, where it is now with San Diego now having an MLS team coming in, what has that growth of the game from your point of view been in the States in general?
Yeah, I mean, we would need a whole new show to talk about the growth, right? Because it's been for the last 30 years, it's truly been an amazing development with MLS when the league started until now. Now all the clubs have excellent facilities. They have great stadiums. They put a lot of investment towards youth development, which I think it's extremely important for the future of the league. And now San Diego finally, we've all known that San Diego has had a great trend for soccer over the years and a great history. And now having an MLS club come to the city, I think it's what all the fans want.
And Tab, you mentioned youth development, right? San Diego FC next year are partnering with the Right to Dream Academy and bringing that academy project here in the MLS. Do you think that's something that is good for the MLS? Do you think it can work having an academy-based team in the MLS?
Yeah, no question. I think it's not only beneficial, but I think it's necessary. I think the more connections that we have now from the San Diego area to the rest of the country and to the rest of the world in terms of developing talent and putting talent out in the market, I think the better it is for the players growing up here.
And the growth is exponential, and it's been happening. You have the San Diego Wave also in sharing that space, and the growth of the game overall on a worldwide basis has become more global. Is it something that you kind of like the way the trajectory is going, where everything's a little bit more singular when it comes to the game across the world now, or with you like the special sauce, I guess, that the MLS brought to the game of soccer?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that MLS is taking steps to get closer and closer to be competitive with the leagues of the world. But it all takes time. I couldn't have imagined 30 years ago that we'd be this far along in terms of how well the clubs can do, how much they can be in the market, and how much investment goes into the club. So, very happy at the moment where things are, but I still think we have a few more steps to continue to close that gap.
No, that's wonderful. And I mean, you're going around town here and going to be promoting with Juan Mata, and there's not necessarily, I believe, a rivalry between Man U and Real Betis. Maybe this is the first iteration of that. What's that been like going around and promoting this friendly here in the States?
No, it's been a great experience, and obviously, working with Juan and promoting the game. I think the people here in San Diego are very fortunate that he came here to promote the game with, such a big, one of the biggest in the world like Manchester United, and for me, it's been a great experience, and for Real Betis, it's great to be associated with the event and to be able to promote not just the club itself and what it has to offer, but I think what La Liga has to offer and the type of players that La Liga has, with the technical ability and the tactical knowledge, and I think it's a great league. So I think it's a great event all around.
So I mean, you touched on the league a little bit for La Liga, and for people here who may not be either a Barcelona fan, Real Madrid fan, even an Atletico fan nowadays, I guess those are more prominent than ever. But Real Betis is a team that if you were a Mexican fan, you were following because Andres Guardado was captaining the team for a little bit. Do you see any kind of mixture of that Mexican flavor with La Liga being beneficial for the team Real Betis, or just how was that having un mexicano como Guardado in that position?
Well, there's no question that, Guardado, having been at Betis all these years, he's become a club legend, and that's important for the club. But I think we have to remember, as you just mentioned, obviously the three biggest clubs in Spain, Betis, at the moment has the third highest attendance in Spain. Obviously Barcelona is playing out of their stadium this year. But having said that, Betis is always in the top 3, 4, 5 in terms of attendance, in terms of audience, in terms of just fan base all around in Spain. So it's a huge club that I think not as many people know about. So I'm happy that they're taking the steps now to come more into the United States to show themselves.
And you mentioned attendance, and I think Snapdragon has shown that with soccer, with San Diego Wave being the team in the NWSL with the highest attendance average here in the United States, and it's promising for San Diego FC as well. But last year when Manchester United came, I think it was around 34,000. It was a sold out house. So I mean, are you expecting it to be like that? Are you hoping that it's a sold out crowd as well?
Let the Real Betis fans come out.
Yeah, there's no question that I think it's going to be a sold out stadium. So hopefully people get out there, and get tickets right away so they can get to the game. I think, for the most part, anywhere Manchester United goes is going to sell out stadiums. And I think in this case, playing another big club like Real Betis will be even a bigger force. So, July 31st, I hope that, I can see everybody there.
Perfect. I really appreciate your time, Tab. July 31st, you heard it here. Chula, do you have a question here?
I mean, I'm just wondering. I mean, are you going to go to any tailgates at Snapdragon if there's a Real Betis tailgate out there?
I hope so. I don't know what the events are going to be like around the stadium, but if I can be out and about, I will do it.
Absolutely. Really appreciate your time, Tab. And we're going to go ahead and follow you here in San Diego. And enjoy your time in America's finest city. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you, Tab Ramos. Well, that was something new.
Very different.
On the phone, Tab Ramos has some good little insights there. Just kind of, he's coached here in the MLS. He's coached throughout and has a good grip of just world soccer and just has that 20,000 foot view vision of the game.
If there's one person that can talk about the growth of the league, it's Tab Ramos.
Yeah, 100%. Literally the first MLS signing, right? And now a 30th team with SDFC coming together. Some really cool, interesting stuff there. But then we have Juan Mata coming on. We had him for a little shorter time. We had him for the full 10 minutes, but we asked some questions in English and then some in Spanish. The Spanish one will come out a little bit later. But anything else? Anything stand out? Abe, anything stand out to you in that situation? If not, that's okay. We could just go play Juan Mata, who was literally next to Tab, and they just handed the phone next to him.
Yeah.
Just breaking that fourth wall. But yeah, so here's Juan Mata, Manchester United and Chelsea Player of the Year, Champions League winner, Juan Manuel Mata. Legend of the game. You know him, you love him. Juan Mata, please welcome him to the show. How are you, Juan?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Absolutely. We are stellar. We are great having such a presence here on San Diego Futbol. How are you enjoying San Diego? I know you just touched down a couple of hours ago, a couple of days ago. You got a tour of the air base. How has that been here in San Diego for you?
It's been great. It's been great. To be honest, we have been doing lots of things and visiting community places, watching kids play football. We're going to hospital tomorrow. We're going to the San Diego Wave game, probably the Padres game. So we're really getting to know the city and promoting the game, which is great because we're also feeling the energy from soccer fans around San Diego.
No, and that's the thing about San Diego is everybody's kind of learning about the culture in San Diego, and it's really good to be able to get out there. In your experience, you've been a world traveler for preseason games. Is there anything different when it comes to coming over to the United States and playing a preseason game for a Manchester United player?
I always loved to come to the US with United. We came for a couple of years in a row, and it was always fantastic tours, not only because of that the training facilities are great and the atmosphere is very relaxed. You can properly work, but also because we feel the love from American fans towards Manchester United. I mean, it's one of our biggest markets, and it's just great to have that feeling of taking a plane, going so far, and still you have a lot of people that love you and support you, and especially in this country. So it has always been one of my favorite pre-tour seasons for sure.
And Juan, you mentioned the game. Last time Manchester United was here in town, it was against Wrexham. They played more of their academy teams, but now against Real Betis. What should fans expect about Manchester United? Obviously, it's a friendly, having half starters and then the second half rotation players. What should fans expect for this match?
No, they should expect the best possible squad. I mean, the coach said it himself a couple of weeks ago in the media. He will try to bring all the available players, all the senior players that are available at that time, and it should be a great spectacle and entertainment for the fans. So it'll be great if they come to the stadium, if they enjoy the pre-game, post-game, and so Manchester United will come with the best possible squad and to be competitive against a great Spanish side. I know Betis really well, and they have great talented players. They have a very good coach, so it's going to be tough, but United is going to bring the best guns.
And one of the strengths of United, teams like Real Betis, obviously teams in Europe are their academy basis and how they are able to grow. You yourself came out of the Real Oviedo Youth Academy into Madrid's kind of camp. What can you talk about that model? Because here in San Diego FC, which I know you visited their offices yesterday, is starting with an academy base with the right to dream. What are the benefits of developing a player through an academy?
I have very positive opinion about that because I think all clubs in the world will be sustained by their academy. So what San Diego FC is trying to do here is just fantastic. Under my point of view, it's also a unique approach brought by the Right to Dream approach, which we all know it's a very unique group in professional football because they support kids not only on the pitch but also off the pitch by empowering them and giving them education, giving them a platform to grow as a human. And for me, that's something that it was missed in professional football, and they are doing it so well. So to have the chance to purchase a club like San Diego with all the fan base and all the heritage and the history of the place, I just think it's a perfect match. So I think they will do fantastic, and it's great news for the whole town.
And Mata, I mean, what's your opinion on the MLS as a league in general? Bringing big names like Messi, Suarez with Inter Miami, and just the direction that the league is heading. What's your opinion overall on the MLS?
Mata can still play. Come on,
Mata can still play. You can join the team.
No, I mean, I think we all agree that it's really growing, and not only by bringing the best players like Messi, and of course with the World Cup coming, with the FIFA World Cup also being played in the States. I think it's a great time to be in the United States if you love football, if you love soccer, as a player, as a fan. So I think the next years are very promising and bright for this country in football. And so, maybe it's a good option on a personal level.
It's going to make a lot of people excited here in San Diego, just hearing that it can be an option. It's a wonderful city. What are you looking forward to in San Diego? I mean, this is America's finest city. I know you heard you were going to go to the Wave or Padres game. Is this a full schedule for you coming up and going to the hospitals? Is there any downtime for Juan to kind of relax and stuff?
Yes. I mean, these days are pretty busy and we're doing a lot of fantastic things. And then I will take some days with my family, which is coming over. So we'll have some downtime to enjoy and visit different places. But it's great. I've always tried to get to know the history and the heritage of the places that I am. And so with the history of San Diego and everything around, it's just a very special place of the world with also Mexico and their culture. So yes, at the moment it's very busy, but doing great things with the community and visiting, like you said, soccer camps and hospitals and the games from different sports. So it's just fantastic opportunity to actually represent the game, but also get to know San Diego and their culture.
Love it.
And what do you hope to see at the San Diego Wave game? Obviously, San Diego Wave is arguably one of the best teams in this nation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't get to see the legendary Alex Morgan due to an injury, but what are you excited to see about the game here at Snapdragon?
Well, first I am excited to see Casey Stoney, which I know very well from from her Manchester United times. But then I just want to feel the atmosphere. I know that, of course, they are one of the best teams in the country, hence in the world, and they have a great level of players. So I'm just really looking forward to enjoy the game, to meet them, and especially to feel the atmosphere in that fantastic stadium, which the Man United game will be played, the Snapdragon Stadium, and that will hold the Snapdragon Cup.
And then one last question in English, and we'll switch it to Spanish. Is Juan, are we ever gonna see the return of your blogs? Those on your website is
Did you like
fantastic.
them?
Oh, I was there every single day it dropped. I really enjoyed those.
Okay, maybe that you like it now. Maybe I think about coming back to it. It was a good way to expressing myself, to communicate with whoever wanted to read them, and to try to share a little bit the story of a football player and your feelings after the game, during the week. And yeah, I loved it. I stopped it because I had many other things to do, but maybe in the future it's a good way also of expressing yourself. So thank you for your words, and if I come back, hopefully you still like it.
Yeah, absolutely. JuanMata8.com, and you can search 1 Hour Behind. That's the name of the blog. Fantastic. And we'll switch it into Spanish right now. And then we switched it to Spanish right then. What are we doing? That's Juan Mata.
That's Juan Mata. Our first interview with the men's World Cup winner.
Absolutely.
Wow, we had 2 World Cup winners in this episode.
Wow. A World Cup winning episode. Abe is holding his head in disbelief in the background.
We're changing the title.
He cannot believe it. He also can't believe that Mata knows Casey Stoney from their time in Man U. So that's really cool. A connection there. Went and watched the Wave game. But overall, just kind of really interesting takes as far as like the MLS in general and the Right to Dream project, right? Like, it's the standard across Europe, the academy basis for soccer. And he really sees the benefits of that. He also seems he's familiar with the Right to Dream aspect as well. So good positive words there. So we're going to go ahead and tag SDFC with that clip, see if they share it.
They won't.
It's all good. But that was really interesting. It's going to be a great time. We'll probably catch up with Mata. There is a little clip before Tab Ramos passed the phone. He's like, hey, how's it going, Juan, and this and that. And he's like, oh, great. How are you? And I'm like, good. We were the gorditos the fat guys you met yesterday at the event. Oh yeah.
The thing about Tony, guys, I think once you meet Tony, you don't forget who he is, and that's just who you are, Tony.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Hope that never changes.
But yeah, some interesting takes. I hope people kind of masticate those words from Juan Mata. Immediately went over to watch his penalty miss in the 2012 Champions League.
So that's the thing. Right after, you're like, dude, he was better at Chelsea and blah blah blah. He played 3 years at Chelsea compared to how many years at Man United?
8 years.
Even you said it, you're like,
that's a long time.
Played 8 years at Man U.
Yeah, no, 100%. Really cool to have Juan Mata on, and look, some good insight and just the growth of the game in general in the States for the MLS. Like, not necessarily bashing, it's just really being critical and being realist about the level of the league in a world scale. But when you see just players give it the credit, people who have been there, like you and I can say whatever we want, but Juan Mata, a player who's traveled, played in Japan, played in Galatasaray, just everywhere you can imagine, to be able to say and recognize that the MLS is growing with great players. And both of these players think that the Right to Dream Academy basis can work. The academy base can work. So that's positive here for San Diego FC.
They don't know more than you, Tony.
I think I'll give Juan
Mata.
I'll give Juan his
not Tab.
Juan,
yeah.
Tab, you know what? That
Tab 2-3.
No, but yeah, it was really cool. Huh?
What's con el Betis?
Guardado también. Yeah, no, we're never gonna have Tab Ramos on. But I mean, I might take up his offer about just kind of expanding on the growth of the league itself as a whole episode. So that'd be a really interesting kind of thing to touch on. There's guests lined up that I have soon, where I'm gonna have probably Jimmy Conrad back on to talk about TST and SDFC and just the growth of all that. So Really interesting stuff happening here on San Diego Punto Futbol. Abe, you want to come on? Any thoughts on these two things that you just heard, listened to? Mr. Mute? Mr. Senor Mute?
You're muted.
The muted man? The
Okay.
man with the mute?
I think that Manchester United having their full team is actually some news that's kind of cool. That's about it. Other than that, I mean, Juan Mata, they're legends. They're true legends. You know what? I agree with Francisco. Francisco's right. Okay, he's a legend. He's not a Real Betis legend.
But it makes sense for him to come and represent Real Betis in the States, being an MLS legend. So it wouldn't really make sense for Guardado to come out.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
They didn't make Liguilla, so.
But yeah, all right, cool. Thank you, Abe. We'll put you away.
Bye, Abe.
But yeah, so Juan Mata, Tab Ramos.
It is cool.
Thank you.
So those of you wondering, Man United fans, this summer, if it's worth going to see this game, definitely go. It's going to be the first team. You'll get to see possibly new signings already in the team, possibly a new coach. The way things are going.
Okay. Might speak to Eric Ten Hag once again. He's like, thumbs down. What are you doing, Abe?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one to watch. I think it's going to be a packed house. I think Man United is very popular for sure. And there's a lot of Red Devils fans here in San Diego.
You got anything?
Oh, yeah. The Welcome to Wrexham season comes out May 3rd, and their first episode is about the game here in San Diego. So if you guys want to watch that, check that out. I'm pretty sure we probably come out in the background a few times because I saw those cameras around a lot.
Gonna have to
screenshot that.
Yeah.
We'll look for it. Keep that. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll be at the Gumball too. So if you see me,
say hi. Yeah, no. And I mean, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
Minority owners for Club Necaxa.
Yeah, that's my first jersey ever.
What does that mean? There. Probably a documentary for Necaxa. Why? Who freaking knows?
I love it. I have a very, very
sweet spot,
very soft spot for Necaxa. Like
Sorry.
Alex Aguinaga, el Russo Peña,
rich history for
Sergio
sure.
Almaguer, Fabian Estay.
I mean, they made Liguilla. Oh, not Liguilla, but the play-in. So
I put Abe away. You're away, Abe.
Do you know about the Liga MX, how their play-in rules for the season, how it is? So it's very different. It's the first year they do it's like NBA style play-in for playoffs. So it's 1 to 6 make quarterfinals.
Just a direct
7 and 8 do a play-in. The winner goes to quarterfinals. That loser plays the winner of 9 versus 10.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Chivas made directly in 6th place. They're gonna be facing Toluca. So an Alexis Vega revenge game.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
Wrexham skipping Esti. Yeah, because they didn't have good memories here. Esteban with the good shout out Esteban. And the content that he and Brandon are working on. Drop the name of that page on Instagram. Great stuff from Esteban. But he's saying also SDFC is having a great conversation about what match day experience is going to look like. There was a meetup with the supporters groups. It was really interesting. They went to the actual stadium, into the supporter section. They bought people beers. It was really cool. Kind of a think tank. Just really. What do the supporters want? I really hope that those things that the supporters want unanimously do pan out. There was some things that were contradicting because obviously some people want this, some people want that, some people want the purple lot, some people want this. Incredibly expensive. And look,
parking's already $40. So just the cheapest ticket, say it's $80, maybe 80. Would you say?
Maybe. I mean,
maybe.
Well, I have. ¿Cómo se llama este vato? El güey que me dijiste.
Oh, el Max Bristow.
Yes, Max Bristow. One of our friends, who says that my 3 wave seats plus parking equals 1 SDFC seat in the exact same chair, is kind of the level of things.
Look. So for LAFC, a regular season match against Vancouver Whitecaps on a Saturday, the cheapest ticket in Ticketmaster is going for $38.
Okay.
That's the cheapest. Will that be the same thing for San Diego?
So that's what they're working on right now. They pretty much filled out all the premium seating, SDFC did, and then they're working their way, they're trickling it down. So I think the next one is just season tickets in the third level up from the cheapest seats. So they're working their way down there. So I know people who have put in that $18 deposit and just waiting. They're waiting because they are focusing on the premier seats, the most expensive seats. I know one of those sections has already been sold out. So if you want to go watch if you want to see Snapdragon, if you're really keen on looking at the soccer match day experience at Snapdragon, SDFC is going to be great, but go check it out for San Diego Wave. I guarantee you're going to have a blast. It's going to be similar settings, just in terms of, literally the building. And look, I can't let this go, Chiva. They keep calling it soccer specific. That building was not built it was built with soccer in mind. And again, people were like, and I've been told like, oh, you need to stop. And then through the organization as well, they're like, oh, you need to,
stop calling
it's a dead horse. You're beating a dead horse. Stop calling it a soccer specific stadium, because honestly, it's pissing me off. Because at the end of the day, this whole stadium was built because of SDSU and their campus. It's a school campus, and primordial tenant is going to be SDSU's football team. All right.
So it's a football stadium.
It's a football stadium. It's
really
a multi-purpose stadium. It's going to be great for soccer. It's already fantastic for soccer with San Diego Wave. We've seen some great international sports. Yes, rugby. We've seen different iterations. I've seen great concerts there. It's a great venue for soccer, but stop calling it soccer specific stadium.
I agree. It's not a fucking soccer specific stadium.
I love you guys with all my heart. Some of the people that we've had conversations with, but let's get real. Like that language is setting a precedent to literally lie. It's a lie. It's setting a precedent that you really don't want to set. And out of the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
You don't want to.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
At least at first.
It's a stadium. It's a state-of-the-art stadium. People are going to go. The shade's not going to happen. That's a San Diego State specific stadium. If it was a soccer specific stadium, I wonder if the soccer teams would come together and put some money for that shading or just make something happen. No, it's not going to happen because it's not.
Papa.
SDSU soccer team plays there. Yep, 100%. That's
not who the stadium was built for. Though.
Yeah. If you walk those halls, I don't see a lot of San Diego State soccer posters. I do see a lot of SDSU beating New Mexico and blah 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 blah, the Mount West and Rocky Long.
Y vale madre, no?
Snapdragon is a San Diego specific stadium. You know what? I like that, Jeff.
San Diego.
I like that, Jeff. San Diego specific stadium. Shout out to you, Jeff. They'll like that. They'll like hearing that. So shout out to them.
Maybe they changed their verbiage now.
Same feeling. Give that saying up. Yeah. It's part of it. All right. So we have reached the end of our episode for the most part, but there is one last part, and it's beautiful game. The beautiful game. El juego bonito, el juego bonito. Goals, gaps, and
kind of gave away some of it already. But for the goal of the week,
I'm sorry. Yes, soccer. I love that. Like, again, I love chaos. It's not hating on anybody specifically. Had Wave done it, had the Soccers done it, had anybody done it with Lamont Butler, that would have been funny. And now that Lamont Butler is no longer a San Diego State player, he said, bye, NIL money, see you, transferred the fuck out of here. I wonder if that's still up. I wonder if SDFC. It doesn't really work on Twitter, but anyway, that's fun.
Right, so
it actually sucks for pro soccer, says Chris. Hot take. Sure, the surface is cool. Like, to play soccer, it's a good venue.
Yeah,
to watch it, enjoy it. There can be more soccer things, and I think that's what the supporters meeting was about, to really marry those things together and help make it more soccer specific. All right, let's give some credit.
Sure.
They're trying. They're doing. All right. Goals, gaps, and greats. Chiva, hit
goal of the week. We kind of touched base on that a little bit already, but it does go to now to Jaden Shaw over hit San Diego Wave. I mean, just the build-up play from Girma to Shaw.
Van Egmond, Shaw, McCaskill, Bennett, cross in, wow, San Diego, Jaden Shaw shines. Go.
I love that. That's a really good goal. Casey was happy about it. You can, let's watch, rewind all the way, boy. Aquí viene Girma. Girma encara. Se la da. Jaden Shaw. Se la pasa. Uno. Tula. Toma. Te la doy. Shaw. McCaskill. Se la da. Bennett. Shaw. Gol. Golazo. San Diego Wave. Okay. Great goal.
Great goal.
I will say, because I take things into consideration, Jeremy, it is a good discussion to have. A dual goal of the week. And you know what? Because you said so and you defended it, 2 goals of the week.
You know what? Dual goals of the week. It was a banger. Top corner. Not like.
Yeah.
I mean, at first we're like, but that second play, just the meaning of it, that second goal, just to win the game, I think is that special. But both goals were fantastic. Let's talk about the great of the week. I personally want to give it to Casey Stoney for changing the lineup up.
Yes.
Giving a start to 16-year-old Kimi, giving the start to
yeah.
Maya Jones. It's a brand new front 3 that we've seen for San Diego Wave, and they pull off the win. It paid off. I give the great to Casey Stoney for being creative and coming up with the starting 11 that was just phenomenal.
Yeah, we need to start asking them, just like I asked Joe Corona. Hey, you won a goal of the week. Hey, you won great of the week. How do you feel, Casey? I'm gonna need more wine. Shout out Casey Stoney for great of the week. And then I just, at the end of the day, look, gaff. There wasn't a lot of errors. There wasn't a lot of mistakes.
This isn't soccer.
It's not
it's
soccer.
San Diego related.
It's played in the venue where the San Diego Sockers were eliminated, my former employers. But the San Diego
Bay Area players in the stands, and you've got one player as well in the stands.
What are the players
doing? This now has become a news story here more than anything else.
Does the strike force get a higher attendance than soccer?
Probably not. More than likely not. So, just to give context, those are players. This is a Malice in the Palace type vibes. Players for both Strike Force and Bay Area jumping into the stands and really just kind of throwing haymakers, like defending people's honors. Did you see the angle that was provided by Everything San Diego of the actual fight?
No, what? I didn't see it.
Let me see if, hopefully he didn't take it down. Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny.
He took it down.
Johnny took it down.
Check these media, like media on there.
Media. Oh, wow. It's a new layout. Yeah, no. He did take it down.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Shout out to Johnny from Everything San Diego, but oh my god, that was disgusting.
Abe said on the comments, great article and Everything San Diego recapping everything.
Absolutely, just a carnage. Malice in the Palace, players in there. That's the gaff of the week. Just fuck are we doing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hair raising fight. Absolutely. I'm gonna. He had to have posted like, no, Johnny. Why?
Maybe he's personal. Check Johnny Richardson.
Shout out Johnny Richardson. No lo veo. Replies. Yeah, no, it's not on here.
Damn it.
It was not a good fight anyway. So we don't condone violence in any terms. That's why it's the gaff of the week. But don't taint Pachanga like that. Come on, guys. Come on, Strike Force. Your plays are terrible enough. So all right. So I think it's been a good episode. Absolutely action-packed episode. We want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who joined us here tonight. Starting with obviously the great, powerful, wonderful Shannon McMillan joining us. San Diego Wave, great insight. We had Tab Ramos. We had Juan Mata, 2 World Cup winners on
today's
episode. Like, what the fuck? Shout out
Only
to
Two Balls and a Mic.
absolutely only here on Two Balls and a Mic. It's been episode 222. Thank you for everybody who's joined us in the chat. Everybody said hi to Shannon. Everybody who was involved. The team gave a full PR statement. Yes, los madrazos. Shout out to Abe Cepeda. Abe_Cepeda is his handle. He's the one that handles everything over on the writing side of things. Hello. Yeah, do it again. I like it when you do it. Oh, not okay. Okay, sure. You did the heart thing. I meant the heart thing. But all right. Shout out to Abraham Cepeda. Evening, Chris. Evening, Jeff. Evening, 619. Evening,
Have a good
Jeremy.
one, gentlemen.
Evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you guys next week. We're gonna go ahead and have new stuff. Hey yo. Excellent show this week, fellas. Thank you. Appreciate you. See you guys on Saturday.
So much.
Chrome Ball Tour, San Diego Internacional plays. We got that on commentary. What?
Maybe an
what's-
action-packed Saturday.
What's this life?
All right.
Season's greetings, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Bye bye.